Mark was not one of the apostles, but was close to the apostolic band. His name is not Hebrew, but Greek, based perhaps on the Latin, Marcus, and he is not using a very elegant Greek, but a very natural one. It is the spoken Greek of the Mediterranean basin, the Koine, the common Greek. It's rather equivalent to the English of our own time. Everyone gets by in it. There's a certain quaintness in his language. He doesn't waste words, but uses the same words quite a lot. In the short gospel of today, for instance, we have about 3 times the word euthys coming in immediately, straight away. We also have the idiom of the original coming through, and that is what they are doing quite often when they write in Greek. We have the Semitic idiom coming through word for word. Ti imim kesi Isu Nazarene, what to me and to thee, Jesus of Nazareth. The exact same expression that we have in the account of the first public miracle of our Saviour at Cana of Galilee, when he talks to the woman, suggesting by the word of use woman perhaps the majesty of what she is, the new Eve, representing the whole of female humanity. We also have this reply from the demons, I know thee, who thou art. And I checked in the Hebrew, because we have a retranslation into supposed Hebrew, and that is exactly what is there. I know you who you are. Quaint, but close to the source. And so too is the description of what actually happened. We have these powerful words coming in. It's an unclean spirit. Pneuma acharthon. It's actually something which is not clean. Acharthon. And this loud voice, which is always the backdrop of any kind of exorcism, noise and commotion. Phonisan, phoni megali, 3 words there, crying out with a loud voice. And then only it comes out. There's a huge force here, and they have to recognize that they're against a greater force. We too have that force. There are a few old recordings of exorcisms there on YouTube. One can compare. One can see that when it comes to either an Eastern Orthodox priest or a Roman Catholic priest who is exorcising, they are able to command with authority, and there is huge effect, a reaction. When an imam does the same, one sees that the effect is not really there visibly. They are trying to pray over, but one doesn't see the same reactions. There are the cases of Pentecostals who do this same delivery over people who are possessed or in some way in bondage. And actually, extremes meet. And I know on the grapevine that actually there's a certain bonhomie between authentic Pentecostals in some places and authentic Catholic exorcists. Because what happens is this, that they are handling the same forces and they learn the same things. The demons do talk and they know things. There is power in prayer of Christians together, and the demon knows it, because they can claim the promise of the Lord. and they are quite intense in their prayer, and that makes the demons very uncomfortable. But I know on the grapevine that what does sometimes happen is that when there's a case of very severe possession, even these people who are in a evangelical Pentecostal frame discreetly at times do make appeal to an authentic Roman Catholic exorcist, priest, because they know that there is power there, and what they want is to get rid of the other guy, and they do. There is power in sincere prayer, but we have the authority to command, because the demon recognizes the priest for what he is. He also knows the difference between a consecrated host and one that isn't. And even holy water, which is blessed and one which isn't. Interesting. And the recognition is that he is the Holy One of God. That's an expression which we could meditate on. The Holy One. That's the presence that we're in. Purity and majesty. Otherness and untouchableness. Unreachableness. The God of gods and Lord of lords. The other. And we treat him as a mate, do we not? I'd like for a second to pause on this one element of the Gospel, O Hagios to Theou, the Holy One of God. He commands in majesty and in control and in dignity. Doesn't waste a word. He is in control. The devil is losing control, and when he's losing control, he becomes, as he always is at the best of time, very noisy. I'd like to pause on that at the beginning of this year. Do I want a year in the atmosphere of the other one, noisy, or of the dignified Son of God, the Holy, the one in control? Because it starts with my control of my tongue. And also it presumes a certain control of what is allowed to come into me and to inquinate, to contaminate my own tranquil zone. For too many words are not good. A certain simplicity gives a greater accessibility and availability to the empty soul. The soul too full can take no more in, and the demon knows it full well. He wants us to be full of what? Noise. Noise within and noise without, and he is free to operate. It hit me hard in the monastery years ago how it was a secret. Not too much in the way of words coming in or going out, and the few that do have far more effect. We are absent when God is present if there are too many words in our system. To mutter much, to utter much to men. Nay, and to thee as well, to be too loud is to be far from home. For no one then is here to hear thee call. And I have bowed too often for this tent where blessings went another way, for that the day was full of other noises made, of pulsings sent along these fibred passageways, worn dull. Oh, still small voice, so often driven hence, and ne'er by membranes gathered. What are these? Hard twitchings of a mind and body tense with massive meanings held, with words that please not well, for too oft sent. Alas, we are to pulses close, but present from afar. Nel Vangelo di oggi abbiamo questa scena dell'esorcismo del Signore, la sua potenza sui poteri segreti che non sono cambiati mai nella storia umana. E abbiamo una cosa percepibile ogni volta, che il demonio parte solo dopo una lotta e in gran rumore. Nel primo libro del Re, capitolo 19, abbiamo questo brano in cui vediamo che tutto il rumore che ha creato contiene Gesù, la sua voce. Invece abbiamo questa, si può dire, assenza di movimento che permette alla voce di essere sentire, non in commozione dominus. È uguale per noi. Il demonio vive nel rumore. A lui piace la molteplicità, la dispersività, parole senza profondità, parole che hanno l'effetto di rendere sorda l'anima perché è troppo bombardata. Anche nella vita quotidiana, guardando questo anno nuovo, si può dire: cosa farò? Voglio un anno di parole senza sosta, ricevute e emettendo così sempre in risposta, o la capacità di sentire la parola, perché il demonio è a casa sua nel rumore. Chiediamo questa grazia all'inizio di questo anno di saper il pericolo delle parole e di saper anche usare la grazia della parola ben ricevuta in silenzio e data agli altri in spirito di dignità.
Lieta armonia nel gaudio del mio spirito esulta. L'anima mia magnifica il Signore, Lui solo è grande, Lui solo è grande. nosotros. No, grande bella mi fece il Creator, Lui solo è buono, Lui solo